Hello, 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 hello. One more hello. Yes, welcome to Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. It is Friday, May 8th, 2020. Yes, and it is a beautiful day that the Lord has made, and I am rejoicing in it. And I hope you are rejoicing in it too. Oh my God. I tell you, it's the end of a week. But for some persons, it's just like another day, isn't it? Especially for those of us who are indoors and have to stay indoors, especially those persons who are over 65, 65 years of age. You're told by our Prime Minister that you have to stay indoors, right? Especially 70 and over. 65 can go out, I guess, for a little bit, but 70 and over have to stay home. Yeah. So for you, and the day, it's another day. There's no difference between the days. But for those of us who have to work, or for those of you, I should say, who have to work outdoors, especially those in the essential services, right? It is Friday, and some of you are happy especially if you work Monday to Friday and you don't have to go to work tomorrow. So you say TGIF, thank God it's Friday, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But for some persons, it's not such a wonderful day at all. And I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Yeah. So, guys, it's Friday, and I am so thankful and happy that I'm able to be here with you to share what I know. Yes, I tell you all the time, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? And it is very important for us to have information so we can make informed decisions, right? Too many times we are given misinformation, but they say misinformation better than no information, right? Because at least you have a bit of truth in the lies that you have heard, right? And it's for you now to go and use wisdom to decipher it. Yeah. Well, hopefully I'm here to help you with the deciphering, because whatever information I give you will not be misinformation. Okay, it will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. All right, so guys, why I do this, I tell you all the time, okay? And remember, guys, like, subscribe, and share the link so that other persons can also benefit from the program. Knowledge is nothing, guys, if you keep it to yourself. That's why I'm here sharing with you, right? I don't know everything. I'm a student of knowledge just like you, but whatever I know, I share with you. I was on Twitter and a young man was asking the question about the Grace Kennedy, the remittances that the government sent out the care package, and he wanted to know the Prime Minister had tweeted some information, but it was not all the information. So he wanted to know, what about me and my surname? When am I going to be able to go to get my thing? And I had to be responding to him, giving him information. He DM'd me, and in the direct message, I was able to help him out with regard to information concerning his particular remittance. You understand? That is how it works, guys. We each one help one. We give information, we share information, because we don't know everything. And sometimes the news is read and you are doing something else, you didn't catch the news, and so on and so forth. And so you need information, yeah? So I have a whole lot of information for you today, guys. You don't want to miss this program. Call your friends, send the link, let them come on now so they can watch the program. Okay, remember to subscribe, that just in case, like yesterday, oh my God, Lord, let me not have yesterday's recurrence today, Father. Yesterday, I so many times the feed, but I don't know what was happening yesterday, guys. But today is going to be a good day. Amen. All right, so you know the spiel by now, guys. I give you the news and then I give you my commentary on it, right? It's a talk show after all. I have to give you my commentary, right? So you get my 2 cents after I have given that information. All right, so here goes. So sections of the communities of Enfield, Ensom, Dover, and Annotto Bay in St. Mary are now under quarantine effective 6 a.m. yesterday, which is Thursday, right? And will continue until 6 a.m. Wednesday, May 21st, 2020, as part of the government's effort to contain the spread of the coronavirus disease, COVID-19. And according to Dr. Norman Dunn, Member of Parliament for South East St. Mary, we will get through this, he says. There's a total of 13 persons have tested positive for COVID-19 in the parish. Okay, you're going to get my 2 cents on it, right? But I'm going to continue the news. And according to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Christopher Tufton, there are now 10 new positives and 1 more recovery, bringing the total number of recovered and released to 58, and the total of confirmed coronavirus disease to 488. And so, I got to give all my persons who love the big data and the big data the full story, right? So here goes. So we had 6,417 samples that are done to date, right? And of that number, 5,887 came back negative. So we have 488 positive, as I just said, 10 new cases. I'm going to tell you about the 10 in a minute. But the 10 new cases bring the number up from yesterday from 478 to 488, which means that we still have 42 that are pending, right? So 42 are pending. Now, I'm not on tomorrow, so you won't get that result from me for tomorrow. But, when I meet with you on Sunday, I will have that number for you, plus tomorrow's numbers. For Sunday, when I meet with you, you'll have the 48 hours numbers, right? So, the 10 new cases are 8 females and 2 males, right? And their ages range from 4 years to 39 years. Now, of that 10, 6 are under investigation. Out of that 6, 3 of them are related to Alorica. So apparently, guys, they're still finding, they did not find all 787. Remember, we've been saying all along, it was a total of, how much was it again? It was, how much was Alorica was again? Alorica was 220, right? 221, right? Alorica was 221 for a while. And we were saying, is that, did we find all of the persons? Questions were being asked, right? Apparently, they did not find all the persons. So they're still looking for person 87, because here we have 3 new cases now from it, bringing it up to 224. Yeah, so the 224 cases now for connected to Alorica, right? And of the total number of 488, 300 are females with 188 males. And the age ranges from 2 months to 87 years, right? There are now 447 persons who are in isolation and 155 in government quarantine. I just don't understand how these numbers, the government quarantine numbers going, guys, because we're not seeing, the numbers are not adding up. It was 83 day before yesterday, it was 38 yesterday, now it's up to 155. So of course, yeah, my bad. Yeah, so the 155 would have included, but this number still not right, guys. How many persons came on the ship, came off the plane yesterday? Yeah, on Wednesday I meant. We need to know the exact numbers, because these would have been included in this 155, right? This total. We heard it was 115, we heard it was 120, we heard it was 119. We're not sure, but we know out of this 155 that are in government quarantine, right? Those who came off the plane from England would have been included in that number. Yeah. And we haven't heard anything about the cohort that was supposed to come in from the US. Remember that we were supposed to have a cohort. We were expecting 330, but nothing was said about that cohort. What happened to that cohort was supposed to come from the US. Anyways, that will be for another story for another day, right? So that's the number for my big data numbers. Yeah. Okay. So continuing with the news. Right? I still haven't given you my spiel, I'm just giving you the news. Further to the murders of 2 children in Kingston West section of the island, and I noticed I said Kingston West yesterday. I said Western Kingston, didn't I? Did not know that there was a connotation attached to when you say Western Kingston. So the police said, I was into the police program last night, and they said because of that connotation, that negative connotation, they don't say West Kingston, they say Kingston West. So I have joined suit to say Kingston West. So further to the 2 have been identified as an 8-year-old boy, Toya, because I lost the feed. It's back. Okay. So further to the murders of 2 children in the Kingston West section of the island, the police have arrested and charged at least 1 person. However, its identity has been withheld pending further investigation. Meanwhile, Minister of Local Government and Community Development, the Honorable Desmond McKenzie, is offering a $300,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of all those responsible for the shooting incidents involving these 2 children. The children have been identified as 8-year-old Toya Brown, the little girl, from Denontown, right? She is 8 years old. Her name is Toya Brown. And the 15-year-old is Neron Taylor from Tivoli Gardens. Yeah. All right, continuing. I'm going to give you my 2 cents. Continuing. And the Prime Minister, the Honorable Andrew Holness, has expressed his sincere condolences to the family, colleagues, and friends of Professor Emeritus of Psychiatry, Fredrick Hickling, who passed away yesterday, Thursday, May 7th, 2020. According to the Prime Minister on his Twitter account, he tweeted, Professor Hickling was one of the preeminent voices in the field of psychiatry in Jamaica and the Caribbean. Professor Hickling was 75 years old. Oh, sorry. All right, so let me continue the story concerning Professor Hickling. Professor Hickling died in hospital after ailing for some time. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton hailed Hickling as a great man. Hickling was the former department head of psychiatry at the UA and also the executive director for Caribbean Institute of Mental Health. He has more than 100 publications and was the author and editor of 6 books. In 2012, he received the Order of Distinction Commander by the government of Jamaica. Hickling attended the Wolmer's Boys School in Kingston and was educated in medicine and psychiatry at UA Mona. He received specialist training in anatomy at St. Thomas Hospital Medical School, University of London, and postgraduate training in psychiatry at the Royal Edinburgh Hospital, University of Edinburgh. And Omega Live will send condolences and prayers to the families, friends, and colleagues of the late Professor Hickling. May his soul rest in peace. Yes, so, and continuing with the news. Grace Kennedy Money Services, GKMS, has issued a protocol to recipients who have chosen Western Union as their payout agent for collecting the COVID-19 allocations of resources for employees, the care package from the government. In the meantime, the GKMS is asking everyone to bring a government-issued ID to wear their mask and practice physical social distancing when they arrive at their remittance offices. That is the Western Union offices. Only persons with the correct surnames who arrive on the correct day and time will be successful. So if you arrive at the wrong time, on the wrong day, you will, and have the wrong last name, you will not get through. So I'm going to give you all that detail. I'm going to give you all the information concerning that in a moment. So stay tuned. If you have a friend or loved one who applied and is collecting their money through Western Union, you want to listen to this, call them right now, send them the link, let them tune in. Okay. Meanwhile, Lasco Financial Services Limited, LFSL, has begun disbursing the care package since Wednesday, April 6, 2020. Recipients would have received a call or text message advising of the day and time for pickup. The company is asking recipients who selected LASCO on their applications to adhere to the instructions of the agent at the MoneyGram locations to, quote, allow for swift and orderly payments, end quote. LASCO is also advising that a nominal fee of $55 plus GCT will be applied. Recipients are asked to call 876-906-7473. I repeat the number, 876-906-7473, or you can send an email to lfslgoj beneficiary at lascoja.com. Again, the email address is LFS as in Sam, L as in Larry, GOJ, beneficiary, beneficiary spelled BENEFICIARY at lasco, LASCOJA.com. Okay, if you have any concerns or questions concerning your payments, the young man who was talking with me on Twitter this morning, he had actually selected on his application that he wished to receive his remittance via MoneyGram, via LASCO. And so he had not gotten any email or text message. So persons like him would have to do what I just suggested by calling or emailing, because you would have already, or you should have already received a text or an email advising you of when to visit the MoneyGram to receive your remittance from the government, right? Okay. And before I give you my 2 cents, last story, or second to last story. Okay, so the medical frontline workers in St. James who have been struggling to get to and from work amid the COVID-19 curfew restriction should now have it easier with the presentation of 2 buses to the Western Regional Health Authority, the WRHA. The buses were handed over at the WRHA's Montego Bay offices in Fairview, St. James, by the Spread Love Initiative Outreach Organization, led by the People's National Party (PNP) caretaker for St. James Central, Mr. Andre Hilton. They are to be made available for 4 months through a partnership with the MXP Tours Group. According to Mr. Hilton, all expenses except for fuel will be borne by us. During this crisis, I know you'll now have more wheels on the road to transport your doctors, nurses, and other workers. This COVID-19 crisis isn't a People's National Party or a Jamaica Labour Party crisis. It affects all Jamaicans. This is a time that we have to put hands and hearts together to help each other, to assist the government where we can, and to assist our neighbours in making sure we get through this as best as possible, Mr. Hilton said. One bus will service the Cornwall Regional Hospital, while the other will serve the St. James Health Department. WRHA Regional Director Errol Green said the buses will ease the issues of transportation for medical staff within Western Jamaica. Quote, we can assure you that these 2 buses will come in very handy to alleviate that situation, end quote. And guys, I'm going to start there with my commentary, since that's how I ended. There's another story about racing resuming tomorrow at KMS Park, but I will give you a story when I'm through, if I have the time when I'm through. Otherwise, I can pick it up on Sunday, because it will have happened yesterday, right? I mean, tomorrow, sorry. But I want to get through all of what I have to say today, give out the information that I have to give out first, okay? And then if anything, I can get back to that story, right? So let me start with that story I just finished just now. Okay, guys, this is what I'm talking about with regard to COVID-19, okay? Now, I am going to do a program one of these days with listing all the advantages of COVID-19, because I'm telling you guys, it has not been the worst pandemic that has ever hit this world that we're living in. No, it has not been. The Spanish flu hit the world in 1918, killing 50 million people, right? Etc. There are other pandemics before and after. The point is, COVID-19 is not the worst. And out of it has come some great things. Some great things have come out of COVID-19, guys. And I'm going to do a program one of these days listing all of those. But I'm saying as it relates to this one. You see what is happening here now, guys? As Mr. Andre Hilton has pointed out, it is not a PNP, JLP crisis. COVID-19 don't care about your color. COVID-19 don't care about your profession. It doesn't care about your status in life. It doesn't care how much money you have in your bank account. It doesn't even care how old you are. A 2-month-old has COVID-19. An 87-year-old has COVID-19. You see that, guys? COVID-19 is no respect of person. But what it has brought out in us, as I told you from the very beginning of doing this program, right? That you find it brings out the best in some of us and the worst in others. Because that's what a crisis does, guys. A crisis brings out the best in us and the worst in others. Sadly to say, it does bring out the worst in others. But the one that brings out the best in, isn't it inspiration when you see when our persons are, crossing the aisle to extend a hand to say, here, I'm going to help you because, we're all going through this crisis. Yes, that's what we talk about. We talk about showing love and compassion during this pandemic, one for the other. Yeah. I read this and I was really inspired by this story because, it's not it might seem like not a big thing, but I'm telling you, for these nurses, doctors, and other frontline workers who are leaving Cornwall Regional Hospital or the public health department to go home at certain times at night. Remember, guys, that these persons, right, some of them have to take public transportation, and the taxis stop running by 6 p.m. You understand that? We are on a curfew. We're in a national curfew until the 13th of May, right? So, there are persons, when they leave work, they have it hard to get home. Many of them live hours from their workplace, right? Not even an hour. Hours from their workplace, and they have to get home. And it's difficult for them to leave to go home, get some rest, get something to eat, bond with their family, and then come back the next day to do it all over again. It is stressful. So having these two buses, right, that actually can take some of them, right, to home after leaving work, it is a blessing. And we thank God for the small mercies. We thank God for the blessings, don't we? Yes. Absolutely. So this is a great story, right? And it is a good thing. And we want other persons to do likewise, to be inspired and to lend a helping hand if you can, right? This is great. And those hotels, we're imploring those hotels also, because I can almost guarantee, I'm not going to put my neck on the block for this one, but it's my surmisation, it's my opinion, based on what I have been reading and observing, and listening to, that maybe those persons who were supposed to come from the US, they have not been able to come yet because of lack of accommodation. Because you recognize that the minister asked for some rooms, and we still haven't seen the hoteliers stepping forward to offer rooms, right? We know these persons who they say are at this, fantastic hotel in St. Anne, whose name they refuse to call. But we already know it's the Grand Bahia Principe, because we already heard from before that the Grand Bahia Principe had offered their rooms. Right? But that's 250 rooms, I think it was, okay? But it's I don't think it will be enough for everybody, right? Especially if they're doing practicing social distancing and all that. So they don't want to put a lot of persons there, right? So we already have 120 approximately persons there, right? Who have to practice social distancing, right? And so now we need more rooms, because we have 2,000 persons on ships alone supposed to come back to Jamaica, right? 2,000 on the ships alone, plus the other almost 5,000 on land, yeah? So we need rooms. We need these hoteliers to come forward, step forward and offer your rooms, right? Come on, show some compassionate discretion here. Show some love and compassion. Yeah, that's what we're asking. And so when you see people like Mr. Hilton do these things, be inspired, be motivated to step up to the plate, man. All hands on deck. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So let me go back to now the first story that I want to comment on. Before I do that, for those persons, I know you're interested in hearing about the care package. So let me give you the care package information first of all, because you want to know when to go to Western Union to collect your money. Yes. So listen carefully now, guys. I'm going to give that to you now. All right. So the Grace Kennedy Group, right? They're the operators of Western Union. So they say, if you selected Western Union to collect your money, from the government, the stimulus package, right, the care package, if your last name begins with the letters A through D, your days to go and collect your money would have been yesterday, the 7th, or the 11th, or the 15th. Make a note. So if you have not already gone, right, on the 7th, it was yesterday, you didn't know, you can go on the 11th, or you can go on the 15th. However, listen carefully. Your last name, if your last name starts with A, you go between 9 and 10:30. So only person with last name beginning with A, as in your last name is Adams, then you can go and collect on the 11th or the 15th between the hours of 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. If your last name starts with Brown, B as in Brown, right? Then you can go between 11 and noon, 11 and 12 p.m. Yes. If your last name starts with the letter C, as in Campbell, then you can go between 12:30 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. And if your last name starts with the letter D, as in Davis, then you can go between 2 and 3 p.m. I hope you heard that carefully, because remember, Western Union Grace Kennedy says, you do not turn up at Western Union outside of the hour when you are told to come with your last name beginning with whatever letter, otherwise you will not be successful. You will not get through. So listen to me carefully. And like I said, guys, share the link, and pass on the information. Tell people to listen to what I'm saying to you, because I know people are going to ask questions and they're going to still end up not doing what I am telling you right now, because that's how we are as a people. We don't listen. And we are told we have 2 ears, 1 mouth. Be quick to listen and slow to speak. Yeah, if we listen more and speak less, we will hear more and learn more. Absolutely. So I'm telling you again, I'm going to repeat it, but I'm not going to repeat all of it the same way I'm repeating this one, because I'm setting a precedence. So understand, I'm saying to you now, if your last name between A and D, your days are the 7th, the 11th, and the 15th. And on those days, during the time frame, I'm giving you the time frame. If your last name is A, you go between 9 and 10:30 a.m. If your last name starts with B, as in Brown, 11 and noon is your time. Your last name starts with C, as in Campbell, is 12:30 to 1:30 is your time. And if your last name starts with D, as in Davis, then it's between 2 and 3 p.m. If your last name is between E and K, K as in kite, then your days are the 8th, which would have been today, the 12th, and the 16th. So now it is now 12:30 today. So only persons today who can go and still collect their money today would be persons with last names starting between the letters of G and H. So if your last names are with G, as in Gordon, or H, as in, Hamilton, then you can still go now. You can go now between 12:30 and 1:30. Don't go right now, though. Watch my program. When the program is done, you can go. You still have half an hour to go. Yes, you will be able to go at that time. And then if your last name is between I and K, you can go between 2 and 3 today. The others can't go today. You have to go on the 12th or on the 16th, right? So if your last name is the letter E, if you're E, your last name starts with the letter E, then you will go between 9 and 10:30 a.m. on the 12th or the 16th, right? So on the 12th or the 16th, you can go if your last name starts with the letter E, between 9 and 10:30. Your last name starts with the letter F, as in Frank or Foster, then you can go between 11 and noon. Between 11 and noon is your time on the 12th and the 16th. And like I said, for persons with last name beginning with G and H, you can still go today up until 1:30 p.m. as your time, or you can go on the 12th and the 16th between 12:30 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. If your last name starts with the letters I through K, as in King, then you would go between 2 and 3 today. You can go between 2 and 3 today, right? Today, Friday, May 8th, or if not, you can go on the 12th or on the 16th. If your last name starts with the letters L through R, as in Rogers, your days are the 9th, which would be tomorrow, the 13th, and the 17th, okay? So person with the last name beginning with the letters R, right? Livingston, right? Rogers, right? All of those persons between L and R, you go tomorrow the 9th or the 13th or the 17th. Now listen carefully. If your last name is between the letters L and M, as in Morrison, then you would go from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., right? Letters L and M, you go between 9 and 10:30. If your last name starts with the letters N, as in Norris, and O, right, then you would go between 11 and noon on the 13th, the 9th, the 30th, or the 17th. And if your last name starts with the letter P, as in Phillips, then you would go at 12:30 to 1:30 on the 9th, 13th, and 17th. And if your last name starts with the letter Q to R, as in Rogers, then you would go between 2 and 3 p.m. You got that? And finally, if your last name begins with the letter S, as in Smith, through Z, I don't know anybody's last name Zebra, Mr. Zebra, I don't know. Anyways, if your last name starts with the letters F through Z, then your days are the 10th, which is actually Sunday. So they're telling you, guys, that they're opening for you even on Sunday, Mother's Day, the 10th, right? which is also the Global Move for Health Day. We talk about that in a minute. Okay, so you know, if your last name is between S and Z, as in Smith, you know, and Tomlinson, right, and all and these persons, you can go on the 10th, the 14th, on the 18th. Now listen carefully. If your last name starts with the letter S, as in Smith, and there's a whole lot of S's, right? Only the people with last name who start with S, listen carefully. Only those with last name starting S, as in Simpson, right? And Sullivan, etc. and Smith. You will go between 9 and 10:30 a.m. on the 10th, the 14th, or the 18th. Only person with last name starting with the letter S, as in Sam, Simpson, Smith. Yeah, Sullivan. You will go between 9 and 10:30. If your last name starts with the letter T through V, as in Tomlinson and Thomas, etc., and Victor, you would go between 11 and noon on the 10th, the 14th, and the 18th. And if your last name starts with the letter W, as in Washington or Wellington, then you would go between 12:30 and 1:30 on those days, that is the 10th, the 14th, and the 18th. And finally, if your last name starts with X through Z, as in Young, if you are Mr. Young, Mrs. Young, between the letters X and Z, you'll fall there, right? Then you would go only between 2 and 3 p.m. No other time. Only between 2 and 3 p.m. on the days of the 10th, the 14th, and the 18th. I hope you guys heard that and you were taking notes, okay? And if you have a friend who doesn't have YouTube to come and watch it for themselves, then share that information, guys, because knowledge is nothing if it's kept to yourself. And my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Being destroyed doesn't necessarily mean that you die, as people think, okay? Dying is not, a matter of fact, for me, dying is not being destroyed, because when you die, you're leaving one dimension to the next, so that's not being destroyed. You're going to be alive and being destroyed because you did not listen, you did not get the right information, you did not hear, and so you could not adhere, and so you find yourself in a mess. Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, but Grace Kennedy is quite clear. They're very specific about it. And so while they have not been paying me to advertise for them, I am doing this public service announcement for you, my people, who are destroyed for lack of knowledge, including myself. We are all destroyed for lack of knowledge. We need knowledge. And knowledge is nothing if I keep it to myself. So I'm sharing it with you so you can partake. For those persons who need to go to Western Union, I hope you heard and understand. You cannot go to Western Union outside of the time when I just said based on your last name. You have to go. So if your name is Young and you're Mr. Young or Mrs. Young or Miss Young or Ms. Young, the only time you can go to Western Union to collect the remittance from the government is on the 10th, the 14th, and the 18th between 2 and 3 p.m., for example. And the same applies for everybody else. To understand that, okay? And Western Union is reminding you, Grace Kennedy is reminding you that when you're coming, you must walk with a government-issued ID and your TRN. Do not even bother to go if you don't have these items because they're not going to entertain it. So they're saying make sure to walk with your government-issued ID and your TRN. Walk with your the reference number. When you applied, you got a reference number. Walk with that reference number also, okay? They're advising you to ensure that you wear your mask. You got to have your mask on. And when you come, you're going to practice social physical distancing by being 6 feet apart from each other. Okay. Can't stop me never did that one, yeah. All right, guys. So that's the information that I have for you from Grace Kennedy, and I gave you the MoneyGram information already. Okay. Now, guys, having completed that, I want to go now to the story about the quarantine in St. Mary. Yeah. So when I came on, I told you yesterday when I came on, right before I came on, I got that news flash that St. Mary was under quarantine. But I didn't even get the full story, so I couldn't run with it and say anything to you about it because I have to fact check my information before I give it to you, right? I can't give you wrong information. I got to do my fact checking, yeah? And so I couldn't give you that information, but I got that information yesterday after the program, and I was even listening to Beyond the Headlines. And I want to share with you guys this particular I want to share a little clipping from this some residents in St. Mary, their reaction to the curfew, right? So remember, I gave you the story just now about sections of the communities of Enfield, and it's a section, it's not the entire communities, guys. It's sections of the communities of Enfield, Ensom, Dover, that area, and Annotto Bay, right? All of these are in the parish of St. Mary, right? Which is in the northeast section of our island, yeah? So the curfew has started since yesterday morning at 6 a.m., right? Since yesterday morning at 6 a.m., curfew started. And I believe, as some persons also have believed, and you'll hear in a minute, that it was due to what happened in St. Catherine, why nobody said anything. It was like a thief in the night operation, right? That nobody said anything that there was going to be a curfew. They just lock it down, guys. Just lock it down. I guess they did not want what happened in St. Catherine too. I didn't know. I mean, they say once bitten, twice shy, right? Once bitten, twice shy. So you don't want a repeat of what happened, of course. So yes, you do what you do. And then they say it's best, guys, to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. I guess that is so true in this instance, yeah? So listen to this, guys. I want to hear this clip. So this is a clip. Just a little bit more about Dion Jackson Miller. She has this program on the RGR Beyond the Headlines, right? And so she was talking to some of the residents from Dover, right, and in Annotto Bay. And so you're gonna hear for about not very long this interchange between Dion and the person. You're going to be hearing in a little while are having such difficulties. People don't know how they're going to make it through. Other people are innovating, trying to survive, and we want to answer as many of your questions as we can. I want to be on cue, but it's just hard to put it on cue. So it's going to go into it. So just give it a minute. Yeah. So Ron Williams is with us now. Thank you so much for talking to us, Mr. Williams. Appreciate it. Okay. What do you mean not getting any answers? Who are you asking? And then local my business today. They said everything was locked down. Right. After the council them don't know the strike this morning knows that something is going on. That's what got some clear package to there for him today. And we can't get to the car, can't go to the shop. That's a businessman. They said they don't get a gadget to the area. So I can't understand why they lock the area and nothing is gadget. Nobody knows what to do. All right, let me just say we have with us as well Shireen Brown from Dover. We appreciate you joining us, Ms. Brown, coming to you in just a moment. So, Mr. Williams, do you think it's necessary, having heard what the ministry is saying, 13 cases, and they're concerned about spread? Well, if they're concerned about spread, they can take the action, but the committee has to know what's going on. That people can make necessary preparation to buy food and all of that, and do what they're supposed to do, you understand? But the way how they go by, nobody, that community, the wider community, we respond to what is going on, you know, nobody can give us no answer. We saw when they had the lockdown in St. Catherine that they gave a few hours notice and it was, chaos. People were rushing to get to the shops and all kinds of things. When we talked to the health ministry, we'll ask if that informed the way they did it this time around. But people essentially woke up, probably started going about their business and then heard about the quarantine. Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you, Ms. Brown, let me bring in you, Shireen Brown. Tell me how you heard.
Okay, good evening, Dan. Good evening, everyone. I didn't surprise because a couple of days the air little feeling around that cold in the area. But this morning we are about to go to the supermarket that is done from last night. So when we wake up this morning, we wake up in curfew. But it is surprising.
So how did you know that the area was under quarantine? Is it that you tried to leave your neighborhood and you saw soldiers and police, or what?
No,
what happened?
they're exactly at my gate. Because from where I live,
yes,
I can see them out on the road, so I see exactly not my gate.
Right, so was there any loudspeaker? How did you know what was happening?
No loudspeaker, because I saw a man where I live, and he going to work, and they turn him back. So I get to understand in the area you cannot leave.
Okay, so words.
Who is leaving from out, like you cannot stop in another day, like you're going to Kingston or so.
Right.
Yes, they allow you to go.
Okay, so how you felt when you heard?
As I say, I didn't felt any way, because it is surprising to me, because a couple of days in St. Catherine.
Do you think it affects you though? 2 weeks quarantine.
Well, the only problem is food.
Yeah, because you said you were planning to go supermarket this morning.
Yes. So I'll go with the top up here, because I have a little food in the house, but you have to top up on what you have.
So you think what you have can last you for how long?
Well, I think it can last for Friday.
Until Friday?
Yeah.
Friday's tomorrow though.
Right. Today, the 8th.
Oh, yes.
Tomorrow, Friday?
Yes.
And then what?
Oh, good question.
Well, maybe we'll have to hear from the MP or the councillor, maybe the minister. If we don't have a shopping day where we can go out and get
no shopping day.
So that's what you
no shopping day.
With the quarantine.
You understand the need for it?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. What about you, Mr. Williams? How is it likely to affect you? You're a business operator.
Well, it affect me immensely. Bills to pay, staff to pay, rent to pay, my loan to pay. If I close to 14 days, it's really going to affect me big time. So if I have to result in negotiation, which I got last 2 weeks, possibly that me have to pay for that on my own. You understand? So it can affect. But if this is the way to operate, we have to work with it. But I think there's a way that people have to get food. As the government said, they're going to need food by tomorrow. A lot of people need food from today. They have a lot of people that only buy per day. Based on what they need to cook at the same time. The 3 times a day they cook them. They come by 3 times a day. So that's an issue. So,
yeah, people come to your shop 3 times a day?
Yeah, 3 times a day, yeah. Exactly.
So what? Sorry, finish up.
You can buy everything for 14 days because some bread can't last for 14 days. You understand? Milk can't last for 14 days. So something has to put in place. And again, it is that I have nobody telling you what's going to happen. And I think the government should have been prepared already.
Right.
We can know exactly. You call the council, you call the MP, they can say, in this situation, you have to work with that, and we know exactly that. Everybody's so passive with what is going on.
You said them not know what a clock is strike. I just laughing because it was a phrase you used earlier, some Jamaican phrases I really love.
Never throw away what. And I think I have about 5 minutes to go back here for this right now, trying to pick up and make it move.
You can imagine.
All right, so tell me what you want to have happen now in terms of managing the situation so the community knows what is going on. What you want to hear or what you want to see done?
What is clear definition of what is going on? What are the days that people can move and what they can buy and where they can go?
There's no moving.
Yeah, some guys, it's unclear for us to lack of every 2 weeks and we're not getting no food, nobody getting food, nobody have access to food. And again, I can't leave the community because you know I couldn't leave the type of business we have to protect it. So, they just want to make sure everything runs smooth and they do the right thing. Yeah, that's by announcing to the public the situation and what is expected and the restriction and who is in quarantine to stay home.
That was before this morning?
Before this morning.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was a home quarantine.
That don't work. That don't work.
That was not neither home nor quarantine was going on.
The home quarantine doesn't work.
It does not work. Home quarantine does not work.
Yeah, that had been my concern as well.
Yeah.
Everybody, they gotta come and you know, they don't know you have it. It's not something that they can see, so we have to do the right thing.
Well, I guess that goes back to what Miss Brown was saying in terms of not being surprised. I'm going to have to leave it there, but we'll touch back base if we can with both of you next week and find out how things are going in another couple of days. Can I thank you both so much for talking to us? We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Ron Williams and Shireen Brown talking to us there. They're in communities under quarantine now in St. Mary. Let's go to the 6 o'clock.
Okay. So you heard, guys. All right. So you heard from 2 residents who were actually in the quarantine. Now, guys, that report that you heard, this is on beyond the headline hours later after the quarantine started, right? And you heard for yourself. The gentleman, the businessman, and the resident, I mean, he's also the resident, but you know what I mean. Both of them are saying almost the same thing to some extent. They're happy. They're not saying that they're not really happy about the quarantine. If it is necessary, it has to be done to prevent community spread, right? But up until that point in time, they're saying that nobody knows the right hand don't know what the left hand is doing. Nobody has any information, right? How are we going to get food and so on and so, which is the main concern, which is a big concern, right? Food, absolutely, right? And you heard the gentleman with his business said that there are persons who come on a daily basis, sometimes 3 times per day, to come and buy their food. And you heard Dion ask the question. She's surprised because, Dion, being middle class, she has a fridge at her home. So the idea that somebody would not be able to put their food in the refrigerator, it seems to be foreign to her. She asked the question. You heard, right? But it's a reality, guys, of many of our people, especially in rural communities, and especially right in these places, in these areas, right, where they do not have a refrigerator at their home, and so they can't store things. They can't buy 4 pounds of fish or chicken or whatever other meat kind and put it in the refrigerator, right? And they can't buy a box of milk with an expiration date on it and put it in the refrigerator. They can't do these things because they don't have a refrigerator. So the need arise that when they shop. So they go to the grocery to buy things for their lunch, and they do the same thing for their dinner because they have no storage capacity. They don't have a refrigerator to store any food. And they can't cook too much either because they don't have a refrigerator again to put the food up for the next day, like what I do when I cook, for example, and I cook one day and it lasts for 3-4 days. They can't do that because they don't have a refrigerator to do that. You see what I'm saying to you guys? No, these are the kind of things I'm talking about, guys, that the powers of be don't think about. They don't think about these things at all. We see that. They don't think about these things, guys. Right? And it's only that blessing in this guy because it shows up things and shows where the weaknesses are, where we need to strengthen, what we need to do. I mean, here it is that these persons we have elected these guys to run the country on our behalf, and we expect them to have the right amount of fortitude, the right amount of qualification, right, the right amount of empathy and sympathy, right, the right amount of compassion and humanity, right, to do the job effectively. And we're finding that there are so many problems, right? Okay, so and I understand, like I said before, I understand the need for the thief in the night operation to lock down 6 o'clock yesterday morning without saying anything to anybody because he did not want a repeat of what happened in St. Catherine. However, you must have been able to have some persons who are not, they don't run off their mouth and they can keep a secret, you understand, who you could have said, okay, let us do this. This is what we're going to do. We're going to lock down these areas, but we're going to put certain things in place. Come and said the councillors did not even know. The councillors are local government, you understand? And the councillors, they are the ones who would know the day-to-day things that are happening in the communities, right? And the councillors didn't even know about it. So when they're making decisions, why don't you have the people who are actually on the ground interacting with the residents on a day-to-day basis? Why don't you have them in the loop. It's been happening time and time again, and too many times it's been happening now. I'm seeing it so many times. I don't get it. Why is it that the mayor in Portmore said the same thing? Now here it is. Now you're hearing the same thing. Even the mayor in Port Mario, he called for the quarantine. He actually did cover, but he still wasn't even in the loop with regard to the quarantine, right? And in terms of the food distribution for the community residents, right? You heard the lady said she only has food up until then, and we don't know what you are already doing with what you've already gotten. We need an audit on what you have already gotten. We need to know what's going on with those care packages, because I just don't understand that. I have to do that story another day, guys, because it doesn't make any sense. And we need you guys to work as a team. No JLP, PNP, anything in this crisis. Work as a team. Work with all the councillors, all the members of parliament, all the persons who are connected on the ground, the president of the Chamber of Commerce in the area, all these persons to come together, all the leaders of the community, and you work together for the benefit of the residents. Yeah, you're going to be locked enough for 2 weeks. Here they're talking about shopping day. This is not going to be a shopping day, I think. I think this is going to be a curfew, a lockdown like the one in Bull Bay, where you don't have shopping days, but you'll be given care packages by the government. I think that's what's going to happen, right? And so you need to have those things organized in advance when they're going to make a decision to do something. You map out all of these things, you plan all of these things. It's like, for example, this story, I can't even give that to you today, guys. Sunday, I'll probably give that to you. With the stories about those persons who came from England on the Boeing 787 flight, yeah? 3 hours in the bus, they came off the plane, guys. Came off the plane. And you know, it's a long flight from the UK to Jamaica. At least 7 hours, and plus they stopped in the Dominican Republic, and so you know it's about 10 hours flight, right? And after that, they were not allowed to go use the bathroom. You know how hard it was for you to be on a flight that long and not being able to use the bathroom when you get off, and you sit 3 hours in the bus waiting, right? 3 hours. And you had to be begging to be told that begging for permission to go and use the bathroom, and to be told that you got to wait and all this kind of stuff. Come on, guys. Lives, the brain that the Lord has given to us, use it the right way. We got to learn to use it the right way, guys. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, for lack of vision, because we're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I know we're all on this journey, and we're all at different levels, but it's called personal growth and development. We have to grow as a people. We can't too long we're on this level and not going. You understand? That's why we read. Reading is important. You see, watch. And the beauty about YouTube, that anything you want to learn, you can come on YouTube and you can learn about it, because that's the beauty. The Lord has given these people the vision to create programs and apps like YouTube. Yeah. So information is there. Information is out there. Come on, guys. It's time to do better than this, man. It's time. We come, the gentleman in St. Catherine, and talk about the catch it should be type thing. And it's true. This everything is a catch it should be type thing. I keep on telling you, you're so reactive and always overreacting in your reaction. Instead of being proactive, we have to learn to be more proactive. We got to have a vision. We got to see the problem before the problem comes. And then when the problem comes, we learn to use and solve the problem the right way. Not through trial and error. There are some things in life you cannot do trial and error with. It is too detrimental for you to do trial and error. Very good at logistics, you know. The JDF is very good at logistics. And I'm tired of seeing all of these mistakes be made. And I'm seeing the JDF on the back burner. I'm not seeing them in this type of crisis, this disaster, risk management period. We understand that we are under. As far as I am concerned, the JDF should be having a bigger role in terms of all these logistics that are happening, because I'm just seeing too much logistical nightmare here. And I'm like, why are they not more involved? I don't understand that. But it doesn't work out to be a situation, where in persons well, obviously it will not be like St. Catherine, okay? But we heard some horror stories in Bull Bay. But we want all the power. Some of them have huge households, multi-generational households, and they need their food, okay, to ensure that they get their food, please, okay. All right. What else I wanted to say about it? Anything about that? Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, guys, that's about it for today. I think I've said a lot for today. And I thank my Lord God Almighty that I was able to do a straight through program today. Like we called it, right? And it happened. Yay! Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord, my Father. Yes, sometimes coffee, guys. sometime tea, right? And we take the good with the bad. Amen. All right, so I've come to the end of the program today. I hope you enjoyed today's program. I'll be found very informative, guys. If you did, please remember to share the link. Knowledge is nothing is kept to yourself. You have to share knowledge. Knowledge has to be shared. It has to be applied. Okay, so share the link, guys. Share the link. And thank you for the thumbs up. Keep the thumbs up coming. Keep the thumbs up coming, guys. Yes, and subscribe. Yes, for you know how it is with this program. You know, sometimes it drops, sometimes it doesn't. But if it does drop, then you can always, get back onto the program because you subscribe, because YouTube would have notified you that I am back on the air. Yeah? Okay. All right, guys. So, as you know, I will not be on tomorrow, Saturday, right? I take my rest because they don't work 7 days. They need a rest day. Even God himself rested. Okay. And since I start working on Sunday, okay, and there are only 7 days in the week, so I rest on the 7th day. I'm not a 7-day Adventist, for those who are asking. No, I'm not. Okay. But I rest on the 7th day because I cannot work all 7 days. Okay. And I work starting on Sunday. So Sunday is my first day. So Saturday is the 7th day. So that's why I rest on the 7th day. For another reason, just so you know. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. So again, I thank you. I really appreciate all my subscribers. I see the subscription going up. Thank you. Thank you for my subscribers. Continue to subscribe, please, and invite your friends to subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And remember, guys, I am also on other social media platforms. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Yes, Omega News JA, where you can go and share and like and comment. Absolutely. Okay. And remember, if you want to be on this program, then you got to send me a DM to let me know. Okay. If you have a topic you want me to talk about, let me know also, and I will do that. Okay. And remember, guys, I think next week is going to be next week. Definitely, I'm going to have a guest from the US, from the education system, right? An educator is going to be on the program, and I'm going to try to get other persons also to come on the program, guys. Yes, because I know you love that. Yeah. Okay. And so until I see you on Sunday again, God willing, I will take my leave. And as always, I will say, stay blessed and be a blessing. Love you all. Bye.